When we talk about retirement, the only reason why the vast majority of people are unable to retire early is because they never received the knowledge or a step-by-step guide on how to do it. So they take the path that society has taught them, that is, to work a job 9 to 5, which you hate, while saving your money meticulously to finally retire at the age of 65 when your living condition is not optimal to be able to fully benefit from your efforts. But what if I say to you that it is possible that only with this video, you will have the necessary knowledge that you will be able to retire as soon as in 10 years, even if you start from literally $0? Don't believe me? Stay till the end of the video and maybe I'll convince you. If you're dreaming of an early retirement that sets you apart from the crowd, it's essential to break free from the path of the majority. Here's the truth. Regardless of the economic climate, you should always prioritize assets over cash in your portfolio. Warren Buffett, one of the world's greatest investors, empathetically states that keeping money is the worst mistake an individual can make.
This is something that goes with your philosophy today. Get out of cash and get into assets, because we don't know what's going to happen to the dollar.
Well, cash is always a bad investment. We'll always have enough cash around, but anytime we have surplus cash around, I'm unhappy. I mean, I would much rather have good businesses than cash.
And it is a hedge against the dollar?
Well, you can say all assets are a hedge against the dollar. I mean, but all you know is that the dollar is going to be worth less 10, 20, 30 years from now. I say worth less, not worthless.
Right.
You want to watch that.
By hoarding cash, you miss out on the countless opportunities the market has to offer. Buffett, along with the majority of successful investors, advises those seeking to build significant fortunes and retire early to embrace the principle of dollar cost averaging. This principle entails investing the same amount at regular intervals, regardless of the fluctuations of the market. However, if you aspire to retire in just 10 years, there's more to consider than DCA alone.
That makes most sense practically all of the time, and that is to consistently buy an S&P 500 low-cost index fund. Keep buying it through thick and thin, and especially through thin. The trick is to essentially buy all the big companies through the S&P 500, and to do it consistently, and to do it in a very, very low-cost way, because costs really matter in investments. If returns are going to be 7 or 8%, and you are paying 1% for fees, that makes an enormous difference in how much money you have on retirement.
Let's take an example. Imagine someone earning a $70,000 salary, investing 10% of their income annually with an average yearly return of 8%. This is quite realistic, given that reputable index funds like the S&P 500 yield an average of 10% per year. Under these conditions, it would take approximately 38.3 years to retire, starting from zero. While these results are impressive, if you clicked on this video, it's because your aspirations reach much higher. You want to retire in 10 years, or even less if possible. That's where the 4% rule comes into play, a powerful strategy that allows you to withdraw 4% of your savings or investment each year without running out of money over time, despite the challenges of inflation and market fluctuations. Let's break it down. Imagine you have diligently saved and accumulated $1 million for your retirement. According to the 4% rule, you can comfortably withdraw 4% of that amount, which translates to about $40,000, without significantly impacting your initial $1 million investment. Now here's the exciting part. There are multiple ways you can apply the 4% rule to achieve your goal of retiring in just 10 years. Everyone has their unique relationship with money and different avenues for generating income. That's why I'm going to present you with 3 distinct directions, tailored to suit your preferences and interests. Without further ado, let's waste no more time and dive into the first plan, a plan that I believe is the most realistic and has the potential to generate significant wealth for most people, even if you're starting from scratch. When it comes to saving and investing for retirement, against all expectations, here is a surprising fact. Your salary alone won't determine the amount you'll have when you'll retire. Sounds absurd, right? Let me explain. It's not the size of your income that matters, it's how you manage it. That's precisely why 70% of lottery winners end up bankrupt. Sounds crazy, right? But you can check the stats by yourself online. It's 100% true. Regardless of how much money you have, anyone can blow it all overnight if they lack financial discipline. That's why the key lies in controlling your expenses relative to your income, a skill that can truly change the game. Now let's dive into the first strategy, one that involves making sacrifices and living frugally to save as much as possible. By keeping your expenses to a bare minimum and funneling the majority of your income into investments, you allow your wealth to grow over time. This approach may not provide a life of luxury during your working years or retirement, but for some individuals, this intentional simplicity aligns perfectly with their values and goals. Let's get into the numbers. Imagine a person with a $70,000 salary able to save 25% of their income. This translates to an annual investment capacity of $17,500. By investing this amount in a stock index like the S&P 500, which historically grows at an average rate of 8% per year, as we discussed earlier in this video, this individual would be able to retire comfortably within 25.3 years. However, if they manage to save 40% of their income, the time required to reach retirement would decrease to just 18 years. With a savings rate of 64% or annual expenses of $25,200, they could even achieve retirement in less than 10 years, specifically 9.8 years. You get the idea. This method is not only realistic but also attainable. However, it requires a willingness to limit current income in order to secure a brighter future. Of course, this approach may not be suitable for everyone, as some individuals may find it challenging to restrict their current lifestyle. That's why we'll explore the second method, a perfect alternative for those who prefer a different approach. Let's continue by uncovering the second strategy that might be the perfect fit for your unique circumstances if you're not willing to sacrifice luxury for early retirement. The key to living a life free from constant frugality lies in increasing your income. However, if you're aiming for quick progress in just 10 years, the traditional path of climbing the corporate ladder may not provide the massive leap you desire. Instead, the most logical option is to establish a cash-flowing business that generates substantial income over time. By pursuing this strategy, you position yourself on the right side of the cash flow quadrant, a topic created by renowned author Robert Kiyosaki in his book, Rich Dad's Cash Flow Quadrant, Rich Dad's Guide to Financial Freedom. Kiyosaki considers this side known as the Rich Dad side because it is the most optimal position you could be in.
One of the more important lessons my rich dad taught me, he said there was 4 types of people in the world of business or money, whatever he said. And this here are the 4 different types of people, and he called this the cash flow quadrant. So E stands for employee, S stands for self-employed, B stands for big business, 500 employees or more, and I stands for investor. Now, it was my poor dad who always said to me, you know, son, go to school so you can get a job. So my poor dad wanted me to be an employee like him. It was my rich dad who advised me to become an entrepreneur or a big business owner, and he wanted me to become an investor.
It offers the potential to achieve financial independence at a much faster pace than the conventional 9-to-5 approach. Building a business that you own and passionately pursuing your dreams is far more logical than dedicating your entire life to fulfilling someone else's vision.
And so it was my rich dad who said to me, he says, you know, Robert, if you really want to be rich, learn to build businesses. It made more sense to him to work hard to build a business, something you owned and something you could pass on for generation to generation to your kids. Whereas my poor dad said work hard, but my rich dad said, why would you work hard for something you'll never own and you can get fired from right away? Again, that was the difference in values.
Moreover, being on the right side of the quadrant brings significant tax benefits, a perk enjoyed by entrepreneurs and investors. It's no wonder that a majority of the world's wealthiest individuals fall into these categories, as they seek to legally minimize their tax obligations.
Now, the distinction here is this, is that each of these are 4 different types of people. They have 4 different tax laws for all 4 different types of people, and this is throughout the world. So my poor dad wanted me to be an employee like him, and there's nothing wrong with that and all this, except the tax laws are the worst for employees. As Warren Buffett says, you know, he, as a business owner and investor, he pays a lower percentage rate than the employees. And many employees are having a tough time today. Not only is there high gas prices, but there's going to be higher taxes.
Another advantage of being on this side of the quadrant is the absence of limits. Unlike the left side, where your income is tied to the hours you work, the right side allows you to accumulate precious moments that grow and compound as assets over time. As Robert Kiyosaki explains, the 2 sides of the quadrant have different objectives. The left side aims for a secure income to meet their needs, which can only increase by exchanging more time for money. In contrast, business owners and investors on the right side pursue a more profound goal: freedom. Financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom.
And that's one of the big differences. On this side of the quadrant, these people here work for security. They work for money also. On this side over here, their key value that they want is they want freedom. They don't want to have to work at a job anymore. They don't want to have to work for the rest of their lives.
That's why this strategy works pretty well with the 4% rule, because you've reached that freedom. You're retired, because you can suddenly totally stop working. Or not. That's where strategy 3 comes in. But before we move on to the latest and most popular method among people wanting to retire early, if you enjoy this kind of content or have learned anything from the beginning of this video, consider liking this video and subscribe to this channel, as we release several videos on the topics of finance and personal development. So if these topics speak to you, please consider subscribing and activating the bell to be aware of the latest videos. Now back to the video. The essence of retirement is the pursuit of freedom and the ability to engage in activities that bring you joy on your own terms. If your work is something you're truly passionate about, something you would continue doing even without financial compensation, then this method is tailor-made for you. It can be seamlessly combined with the other strategies we discuss in this video, depending on your financial situation. With this approach, you don't have to sacrifice your current lifestyle or accumulate a vast amount of capital. Instead, the key is to retire when you have reached a comfortable level of capital and can sustain your desired income source throughout retirement. This method allows you to continue enjoying the work you love while embracing the financial security and flexibility that retirement brings. By implementing this approach, you can have the best of both worlds, a fulfilling and purpose-driven work life, along with the freedom to pursue new passions, spend time with loved ones, and indulge in your dreams. Now let's delve into the numbers. Imagine you have an income stream of $50,000 per year, and your goal is to retire within 10 years while still working on your own ambitions. If you save 40% of your salary annually, that's $30,000, and invest it in an asset with an average return of 8% per year, following the principles of the 4% rule, you would typically need 18 years to retire. However, by continuing to work on the side to cover your annual expenses after 10 years, you could retire with $300,000. During your retirement, you could still earn $12,000 per year to cover your expenses, all while having the flexibility to work on your own terms, doing what you love. What's remarkable about this method is its flexibility. During retirement, you can choose to work more than the minimum required, perhaps to go on a dream trip, treat yourself to a new car model, or simply save more to grow your asset portfolio. The beauty lies in the ability to have control and make choices that align with your desires, allowing you to lead a fulfilling and financially secure retirement. So if your work is your passion, why not leverage it to create a retirement that aligns with your aspirations and brings you ultimate satisfaction? The possibilities are within your reach. These 3 methods can be interpreted in different ways by each individual and can even be combined to amplify the results. But the most important thing is to have a mindset to somehow invest your income source in assets that have the potential to grow over time. So if you want to know the best assets to invest with the potential to grow your capital over time, here's a video that might interest you.